Have you ever wondered what it means to be conscious, to be aware of your own existence? Consciousness, a phenomenon as fascinating as it is elusive. It's the very essence of our being, the internal narrative that shapes our understanding of the world around us. It's a concept that's as old as humanity itself, and yet it remains one of the greatest mysteries of our time. In its most basic sense, consciousness is the state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings. It's the ability to think, to perceive, to experience sensations. But it's so much more than that. It's the thread that weaves together our past, present, and future into a coherent whole. It's the inner voice that narrates our life story, the silent observer of our thoughts and feelings. Its enigmatic nature has intrigued thinkers and scientists across various fields for centuries. Philosophers ponder over its existential implications, asking questions like, what does it mean to be conscious? And what is the nature of self-awareness? Meanwhile, psychologists delve into the intricate workings of the conscious mind, exploring phenomena like perception, cognition, and emotion. Then there's neuroscience, the field that seeks to unravel the biological underpinnings of consciousness. Neuroscientists probe into our brain's complex circuitry, attempting to decipher how billions of neurons firing in unison give rise to our conscious experience. Yet, despite all the advancements in brain imaging technology, the neural correlates of consciousness remain largely unknown. Such is the enigma of consciousness. It's a concept that's both intimately familiar and profoundly mysterious. It's something we all possess, yet it's something we don't fully understand. It's a phenomenon that's both universal and deeply personal, a paradox that continues to perplex and fascinate us. It's this very intrigue and confusion that propels us to explore the realm of consciousness, to question, to probe, to reflect. For it's through this journey of inquiry that we not only seek to understand consciousness, but also our very place in the universe. Now that we've briefly touched upon what consciousness is, let's delve into its origins. Imagine a time when the Earth was populated by organisms, but none of them were aware of their own existence. Picture a world teeming with life, yet lacking the spark of self-awareness. A time when life was simple, direct, and reactive. This was the dawn of life on Earth. The birth of life on our planet is a story of humble beginnings. The first life forms were simple, single-celled organisms drifting in primordial seas. Unaware of their own existence, they reacted purely to their immediate environment, driven by basic biological processes. There was no consciousness as we understand it today, no sense of self, no reflection, no contemplation. However, as life evolved, so did its complexity. Over billions of years, life forms became increasingly intricate. Single-celled organisms gave way to multicellular life, and eventually organisms with specialized organs and systems emerged. Among these developments was the advent of the nervous system, a network of cells designed to process information from the environment and coordinate responses. This neural complexity signified a critical turning point in the evolution of life. It is believed that the roots of consciousness were sown here, in these early nervous systems. As these networks of nerve cells or neurons grew more complex, they began to do something remarkable. They started to process information not just in a reactive way, but in a predictive one. They began to build models of the world, to anticipate, to learn. Eventually, these neural networks became so complex that they gave rise to something entirely new, the phenomenon of consciousness. This was not a sudden event, but a gradual process, a slow dawning. A simple awareness of the world around them evolved into a sense of self, an awareness of their own existence. This consciousness was a game changer. It allowed organisms to plan, to remember, to imagine, and to understand. It paved the way for the development of societies, cultures, technologies, and all the complexities of life as we know it today. So, as life evolved, so did the brain, and somewhere along that line, consciousness was born. So how did we move from simple organisms to beings with a sense of self? This is where the theories of evolution and natural selection come into play. It's believed that the development of consciousness was not a sudden event, but a gradual process that took millions of years. Let's imagine a time when organisms were simple and their actions purely instinctive. The world was full of dangers, and survival was the prime directive. As these organisms evolved, they developed more complex brains, giving them the ability to perceive and react to their environments in more nuanced ways. Natural selection favored those creatures that could anticipate danger, find food more efficiently, and navigate their environments more effectively. Over time, this drove the development of more sophisticated cognitive abilities. But where does consciousness fit into this picture? Some theorists propose that consciousness evolved as a byproduct of this increasing complexity. As our ancient ancestors developed the ability to think and plan, to remember the past and anticipate the future, they also began to develop a sense of self. This self-awareness, it's suggested, was a survival advantage, enabling early humans to better understand and predict the behavior of others, and to more effectively navigate complex social interactions. Others argue that consciousness is a fundamental aspect of the universe, like space and time, and that it didn't evolve at all. Instead, they suggest, as life forms became more complex, they simply became better at harnessing this fundamental aspect of reality. Yet many questions remain unanswered. For instance, why would natural selection favor the development of self-awareness with its potential for existential angst and self-doubt? Would not a simpler organism without these burdens have a survival advantage? While there's no definitive answer, the evolution of consciousness remains one of the greatest mysteries of our existence. It's a fascinating journey from the first flickers of awareness in simple organisms to the rich and complex inner lives we experience today. As we continue to explore this intriguing subject, we may find that understanding the evolution of consciousness brings us closer to understanding the very nature of life and existence itself. Fast forward to today, the human brain, the most complex structure in the known universe, is the seat of our consciousness. This intricate network of billions of neurons firing and connecting in ways that we are only just beginning to understand is what makes us aware, what makes us us. Our current understanding of consciousness is that it is not a single thing, but rather a collection of processes and experiences. It's the sum total of our sensations, perceptions, memories, thoughts, and feelings, all working together to create our unique experience of the world. Neuroscientists, psychologists, and philosophers alike are tirelessly studying these processes, hoping to unravel the mysteries of the mind. Ongoing research in the field of consciousness is as varied and complex as consciousness itself. Some scientists are exploring the neural correlates of consciousness, trying to map out the exact brain structures and processes involved in conscious experience. Others are investigating the role of certain neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin in consciousness. A fascinating development in our quest to understand consciousness is the concept of artificial consciousness. Can machines, designed and built by humans, attain a level of awareness similar to ours? This question is not merely the stuff of science fiction anymore. With advancements in artificial intelligence and machine learning, researchers are now seriously considering the possibility of creating conscious machines. The study of artificial consciousness brings with it a host of ethical and philosophical questions. If a machine can be conscious, what does that mean for our understanding of consciousness? Does it have rights? Can it experience suffering? These are questions we may have to answer sooner than we think, but for now, we are still in the early stages of understanding consciousness. It remains one of the last great frontiers in science, a puzzle that we are only just starting to piece together. As we continue to explore, the understanding of consciousness keeps evolving. What lies in the future for consciousness? As we step into the unknown, we are faced with possibilities that were once confined to the realm of science fiction. Imagine, if you will, a future where artificial consciousness is a reality. A world where machines not only mimic human intelligence, but possess a sense of self, an awareness of their existence. We may one day craft machines that can experience joy, sorrow, curiosity, and even love. But what does this mean for us as humans? Would this blur the line between what is considered life and non-life? And how would we treat these sentient machines? Then, consider the concept of mind uploading, a future where our consciousness could be transferred into a digital realm, effectively rendering us immortal in cyberspace. It's a tantalizing prospect, isn't it? But it also raises a plethora of ethical and philosophical questions. Are you still you if your mind is in a machine? And what happens to our concept of mortality and the human experience when we can simply press the reset button? And what about consciousness expansion? As we continue to unravel the mysteries of the human mind, we may discover ways to enhance our cognitive abilities, to perceive and understand reality in ways we can't currently fathom. This could lead to a deeper comprehension of our universe and our place within it. But could we handle this heightened awareness? Or would it prove too overwhelming? As we venture into these uncharted territories, we will be forced to redefine our understanding of consciousness and confront the moral implications of our advancements. It's a future filled with potential, but also fraught with challenges. As we navigate the future, our understanding and manipulation of consciousness will undoubtedly shape the course of our existence. The future of consciousness is not just about technological advancement, but about exploring the very essence of what it means to be conscious, to be human. It's a journey we are just beginning, and one that promises to be as fascinating as it is complex.